Hi, and welcome to this live reading from Build a Book Workshop, The Literary Handyman 2 by Danielle Ackley-McPhail, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1, Putting a Pretty Face on It. It's all well and good to say don't judge a book by its cover, but you know we all do it, even you, come on, admit it. That's what it's there for, that's its job, to lure you in and convince you that you might like what's inside. The never-ending question is, will you be bitterly disappointed, pleasantly surprised, or get what you expect? It's a different story every time, isn't it? No pun intended. Really. A cover is the first step on a reader's journey. It is their invitation to explore a new world. To this end, it is meant to lure in potential readers. Your cover is your bait. A good cover design will make the reader want to know more, intrigue them, make them curious, make them pick up the book. How do you achieve that? How do you stand out in a good way from the thousands of books that come out every month? Heck, every day. I'm going to say this a lot by doing your homework. With the sheer volume of books being published each year, you have plenty of clear examples of what or what not to do. Just go to your library or your local bookstore or anywhere there's a great variety of physical books and browse through the shelves in your chosen genre section. Take a close look. See what draws your eye, what looks good, and what doesn't. Does one cover appear more professional compared to another? Learn to recognize what a pretty face is in the publishing world. Books have their own version of symmetry and style. It's constantly changing, but there are certain key points that will always remain the same. I'm going to go through the basic elements of a front cover for you here. Just keep in mind that stylistically trends change, so it is always a good idea to get a feel for the current market anytime you're about to start a project. For most books, there are three basic elements to the front cover: the title, the author's name, and the art. Other things that might appear are a subtitle, series name, a review blurb, or an award the author or book has won. Of course, we might be getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's get through your first book. How to pick art. Cover art is often the first thing that gives away a self-published or small press book. This applies to both the image and the design. We're going to address the art first. Your challenge is to stay within your budget, whatever that is, without looking like you had one. It doesn't do you any good to save money on art if what you have isn't going to sell books to anyone except friends and family and a few kind-hearted souls who don't want to hurt your feelings. There are several different ways you can approach cover art. Stylistic. You can try to capture a style or feel representative of the content, such as making a printed book appear like embossed leather for a steampunk or historic aesthetic, or using a tooled metal look for a science fiction book. This avoids the need for actual art and can be accomplished digitally in an art program or by using stock art backgrounds or texture effects. Iconic. If there is a significant symbol such as a squad icon, heraldry symbol, or tribal marking in the book, try recreating the image by traditional or digital means, then using an art program to enhance the symbol with etching, embossing, or glow features. This has the added benefit of branding the book with something unique to the story without trying to capture a scene and saving you money. Just be sure that the finished product looks polished and professional. Key elements. You, or an artist of your choosing, can either create a piece of art representing a scene or compose a scene that captures the feel of the story without actually depicting something that happened in the book. This can be done through traditional art mediums, digitally in an art program, using a 3D posing program like Days 3D or Poser, or a combination of all three. Montage. That is where you take a few individual elements that have relevance to the book and arrange them in an artistic manner. Think of it as a mini storyboard you're using to sell the book. In the end, however you approach the cover, it should make sense. Be clear, clean, engaging, and capture the essence of your book. Above all, it should be eye-catching. Where to get art? Let's face it, most of us don't have any kind of budget for art, let alone a graphics department dedicated to making our books look pretty. You have three options. Do it yourself. Not a bad option if you have some artistic talent. Super bad idea if your efforts look like your 5-year-old niece was finger painting. Always consider your skill level before opting to create the cover art yourself. Good for you isn't good enough. Bad cover art isn't going to inspire confidence in potential readers. You have to balance the need to save money against the likelihood of selling books. Pay someone else to do it. If you have a budget, this is always a possibility, particularly if you know a decent artist that will give you a break, or someone with skill trying to build their portfolio. Everyone deserves to be paid for their efforts, but often artists just starting out set crazy reasonable rates just to get the experience and art credit. This doesn't mean you shouldn't pay them, but it does mean you might be able to afford them. If you find an artist with graphic design training, you could negotiate a finished cover, text and all, at a reasonable rate. If you are hiring an artist, make sure the specifics of the project are spelled out in the contract, including what rights you are purchasing, the details of what you are looking for, what you are allowed to do with the art, and what is and is not included in the artist's fee. Also, make sure to request several concept sketches to choose from to make sure both you and the artist are working toward the same vision. If you are not happy with the results and will not be using the artist's work, you can always pay a kill fee, generally half of the agreed upon price, and look for a new artist. If you attend fan conventions in your genre, the art show or artist alley is a great place to make connections when you are looking for artwork. Stock art. Don't know any artists? There are so many sites out there that license art, and the rates can be quite reasonable. Shutterstock, Adobe, and Fotolia are just a few that I have used. The quality can vary greatly, but if you are patient, you can find what you need. Shop around. Look for the best deal. Often you can get a subscription, a set number of downloads for low fixed price. The site I use gives me 5 images for $50 on a revolving subscription. I use them up and they charge me $50 for the next batch. Is there a lot of dreck out there? Heck yeah. Does it take time and effort to find something that is both good and applicable? You bet. Is it worth it? In a heartbeat. I can't tell you how many book covers we have created with stock art, sometimes without needing to alter anything. It could take a few hours of searching to find a worthwhile image, but there isn't a project we have done where we couldn't find something that worked as is or with just the right application of filters. We have even composited several images to achieve the right look for a hard-to-match title. Searches on the stock art platform turn up a lot of images that are low quality or don't apply, but if you look long enough, you can find something. I've even found traditional art and images that have already been put through filters to simulate an art feel, and new content is being uploaded all the time. Learn from others' mistakes. While I am sure all presses have a gallery of shame when it comes to bad cover designs, there are some practices that seem endemic of small press. Avoid doing the following if you want to raise the bar in small press or independent publishing cover design. Using a 3D posing image as final art. 3D modeling software is meant to create the foundation for finished art, not be used as the end product. This goes hand in hand with using a bad 3D posing image as art. If you're going to use this tool, use it right. Make the poses natural, not too stiff, rigid, or awkward, and always take the image into an art program and use filters and effects to finish that image and give it life. Raw 3D posing images inherently look fake, flat, and untextured. A lot of small presses and self-published authors make this mistake. Don't be one of them. Avoiding just this one mistake will elevate you above most of the independent books out there. Using unaltered photographs. Most personal photographs just don't have a finished feel. If you're going this route, you really want to clean up the image and enhance it with effects to enhance the final product. Perhaps even compositing the image with other photographs or digital elements to create a more cohesive and relevant feel for the cover. Otherwise, it can come across like you did the project on your home computer. No matter how accurate that may be, you don't want it to appear that way. Using stock art that has been used as cover art by others. This is a bit harder to avoid, but try. If you're considering using a stock image, search the image in your web browser to see if any other covers come up. You can do this by dragging the image file up to the search field. Another approach to avoid this issue is to composite the image with another stock art to create something new, or crop the original image so that you are only using a piece of it. Getting the details wrong. If you're basing your cover art on characters, details, or events in your book, make sure they match. Little things like hair and eye color or skin tone matter. Readers assume the character on the front of the book matches the one inside. They get annoyed when they don't match up. Details like this are very easily altered in most art programs, so there really is no reason not to get it right. Remember, yes, it has to look good, but it also has to make sense. Lack of contrast. All of the elements of a cover should work together. If the art image and or the text doesn't have enough contrast, you end up with a muddy or flat cover. That's where it is hard to figure out what is going on or difficult to read the text because it is fighting or blending in with a portion of the image behind it. Using confusing art. This is usually caused by two possible things. First, using a cover image that doesn't visually make sense or can't readily be identified for what it is. Second, art with a style, tone, or composition that conflicts with the content or genre of the book so that the potential reader doesn't know what to make of it. When they are left confused, the book is generally left on the shelf. Or, if it isn't, you could lose their future business if the cover gave them one expectation and the book delivers another.